wasn't, then the Republican Party wouldn't have put so much energy into trying to tear down the image of Michelle Obama. You hear me on that? Can I get an amen? That's a very influential position. Why? Because you on television. You sleeping with the president. You're riding on Air Force One. You're in the meetings. It's a very, very, very influential position. They say behind every great man is a great woman. If that's true, that just goes to show you just how much influence a wife can have. A lot of influence, okay? But Bill Maher went off on the Black Lives Matter protesters, and in particular, this young sister. And he used some language, again, that's very, very extreme. If you got kids in the car with you right now, I'm just telling you heads up. He's going to use the F word, and I want you to hear it in its entirety. Here's Bill Maher, then we'll talk.
Let's talk about Hollywood and Hillary and racism, because as we all know, racism's epicenter is the Oscars and Hillary Clinton. Oh, wait, that's crazy. Wait a second.
Clearly.
Okay, but...
Well, they got part of it right. She is white.
Right. It is a little crazy that the protests I see have to do with the Oscars and with Hillary Clinton. A Black Lives Matter protester interrupted Hillary at a fundraiser and said, Hillary Clinton, can you apologize to black people for mass incarceration? You know, of the 1,000 things I could complain about with Hillary Clinton, being a racist really doesn't rise to the top of it. I mean, it's
and she's also used to getting the apologies.
But it sure is fun being purer than everybody else.
Right.
But does this person realize that Donald Trump in South Carolina, 20% of the voters who voted for Donald Trump disagree with the Emancipation Proclamation?
Right.
And this is who you're going after? This is where we start the battle, you fucking idiots.
No, I don't agree with that.
I don't think,
I'll tell you why.
Bill, I don't think they were calling, let's be fair, just like when Kanye West said George Bush doesn't care about black people, he didn't call him a racist, although George Bush heard racist. They're not claiming, as the Black Lives Matter, that Hillary is a racist. What they're saying is that negative racial consequences flowed from mass incarceration. And by the way, when they accused her of talking about the super predator, which she did, let's note the fact she apologized. Bernie Sanders...
And it was taken out of context.
But not only
she was not
taken
saying black people are preditors.
No. She was saying super predators, the language that John DeLuia or somebody was using about black criminals during the second. But here's my point. She at least apologized and acknowledged that was a problem. But I'm saying I think it's sexist for people to impute to Hillary Clinton what her husband did. Her husband was the president of the United States of America, not Hillary Clinton.
That's right.
Now, but I'm not mad at it.
But one party does not even acknowledge that racism even exists. They say it's an urban myth.
No. You're right. But see, that show what the Black Lives Matter implicitly are proving the humanity of the Democrats, because at least they're humane enough to respond in kind to them. The Republicans don't give a flying damn about what's going on there, and therefore they prove their inhumanity. So in one sense, they're affirming it.
And George Bush is
the party that has the party that was supposed to be for black people has let them down continuously, and that's what the Black Lives Matter movement is going after the Democrats, because they're the ones who are supposed to be on their side.
Exploiting them, taking them for granted. Taking them for granted. So look, but as a person who believes that Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States of America, I'm telling you from a sympathetic position, there is no problem with Black Lives Matter challenging them, because the Democrats have had a history, as Brother Ruffalo has said, of exploiting those black people. But at the end of the day, I think that Hillary Clinton is not only the smartest person, the most prepared person, but the person who has given the most credible empirical analysis of race in the last 20 years by a major American politician. I'll stand by it.
Michael Eric Dyson got on a limb on that one. It was 20 years ago when she said super predators.
That's right.
The hell is Michael Eric Dyson talking about?
People need to learn the difference between an imperfect friend and a deadly enemy.
No doubt.
You want to tear Hillary Clinton down? Great. then enjoy President Trump.
Sure.
You only get two choices in America.
Right.
Two choices.
But it's perfectly legitimate to keep Black Lives Matter at the front of what people are thinking about, right? Because if you're not there showing your issues, someone else is there instead.
Right.
And I think, it was unfortunate the way she did it, but at least she'd been allowed into Hillary's thing. You can imagine that she would have been blocked from Trump's altogether.
I think when you turn around on the crowd, she's the only black person there. And this is a $500 a plate fundraiser.
And we wouldn't be talking about this unless they
Why is that a problem? Do they have to be everywhere giving you money?
Who's they?
The black people?
Who's they? The black people? Now, clearly what's happening is Bill Maher has slept with a few high-profile black women. So now he thinks he knows what black people need and want. Who the hell is he? Who the hell is Bill Maher? To tell black people when and what we should say and we should do. The last time I checked, Bill, you're white, which means that you get a chance to enjoy white skin privilege. I don't care how many black women you sleep with. You'll never understand. You'll never fully understand. That's just the truth. Stop me when I'm wrong. Why do they have to be everywhere? Did you hear what Bill said? Who's they? The black people. The black people. I thought that Mark Ruffalo, who is, I've enjoyed his work. I think he's a tremendous actor. I thought he made great points. He said, listen, and I don't know why he would have to tell Bill Maher this because he slept with enough black women. He should know. They didn't tell him. Pillow talk. The reason why black people are focused on the Democrat Party is because that's where 90% of the votes go. Yesterday on Facebook, I'm on Facebook, and we had a little conversation about that. Some people didn't understand that. You should be talking about the Republicans. The Republicans won't even listen. Black folks don't give a lot of votes to the Republicans. If you put your money in Bank A, if something happens to your money, are you going to go to Bank B where you don't have any money deposited? No, it makes perfect sense. And there's a difference between Black Lives Matter saying, look, we're not going to vote on Hillary, and saying, listen, we just want to hear your explanation. We want an apology. Explain yourself. I think the Black Lives Matter or anybody is completely legitimate. If you've got a concern for a potential candidate, somebody who you feel like you're going to give your vote for, I mean, I don't want you to take a swing at them, but I think it's completely legitimate for you to ask them individuals questions. What's wrong with that? What the hell is Bill Maher on? I'm telling you, one too many black women need to boycott Bill Maher. That's what needs to happen. And then you got Michael Eric Dyson over there, who is a tremendous intellect. I mean, that brother's intellect cannot be understated. His elocution, I mean, his impact to the modern day black intelligentsia cannot be understated. But I mean, only he understands that. Him and one of my buddies used to call in from my old job. That's the sound of kissing ass. Talking about, I think Hillary's going to be in the White House. Yeah, it looks that way. But you can still hold her accountable. You can still ask questions. You can still vote for Hillary and still demand that she answers your questions. Now, what if she doesn't answer your questions? Well, then it's up to you to decide whether you want to vote for her or not. But these are all completely legitimate things. And then for Bill Maher, the heavenly all-white father, from his palace at HBO to say that you're an effing idiot because your sons and daughters are getting killed in the streets, I thought that was out of line. I really did. I thought it was way too far. It says something about Bill Maher. I'm the black women, the hell with the Oscars, boycott black women in Hollywood, boycott Bill Maher. No more black Il Nana until he steps his game up. So there's a real debate going on right now whether it's going to be Hillary Clinton or whether it's going to be Bernie Sanders. And in that clip you heard Bill Maher say, we only get two choices. That's part of the problem, folks. Part of the problem is that it really only comes down to either the Democrats and Republicans. I've been on the record. I'll say it again. The problems that we see in Washington, the problems that we see in our communities, right, is the result of both of the major parties. One party don't give a damn about what's happening in black communities. The other one acts like they give a damn about what's happening in black communities. Stop me when I'm wrong. Stop me when I'm wrong. Here's Killer Mike, who, by the way, man, Killer Mike is he's one of my favorite modern day hip hop artists. And this brother's out there on the front lines. It looks like he's bought and paid for by Bernie Sanders. Let's keep it real. You know me, I keep it real. Democrat, Republican, black, white, hip hop, somebody I like, somebody I not. I'm going to keep it real with you. And it looks like Bernie Sanders has either paid off Killer Mike, or either Killer Mike, for whatever reason, really supports Bernie Sanders. But I want to play a quick clip of one of my favorite Killer Mike songs just to give you some understanding of who this brother is. This song is called Reagan by Killer Mike. It's called Reagan. You can agree or disagree with the politics of it, but I appreciate the swag. Check this out.
Our government has a firm policy not to capitulate to terrorist demands, that no concessions policy remains in force. In spite of the wildly speculative and false stories of our arms for hostages and alleged ransom payments, we did not trade weapons or anything else for hostages. Nor will we.
The ballad of the bullet, some freedom or some bullshit. Will we ever do it big or just keep settling for little shit? We brag on having bread, but none of us are bakers. We all talk having greens, but none of us own acres. If none of us own acres and none of us grow wheat, then who will feed our people when our people need to eat? So it seems our people starve from lack of understanding, cause all we seem to give them is some ballin' and some dancing, and some talking about our car and imaginary mansions. We should be indicted for bullshit we inciting. Children deaf and pretending it's exciting. We are average.
So that's Killer Mike. Just a sense of it. Some language this morning. I tried to give you a heads up earlier. So that's a little bit of Killer Mike. You can find it on YouTube. The video and the song is a history lesson. It's a history lesson. And, the Republican Party won't talk about that. Reagan comes out and says, we did not trade arms for those hostages. 2 weeks later, it's come to my attention that we did trade arms for hostages. Yeah. Fox News don't want to talk about that. But here's Killer Mike stumping for Bernie Sanders. And he, in his opinion, he sort of spells out the difference, again, the way he sees it, all right, between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. And check this out.
When you have an opportunity to tell two black girls to shut up and get off stage and you don't, and you shake their hand and you smile and you step to the side and you listen. That is a firm difference from turning around and staring at a little black girl and saying, shut up. I'll talk to you later. You're being rude or allowing people to say that to her. I'm going to tell you the proof is in the pudding every time. If I can find a picture of you from 51 years ago, chained to a black woman, protesting segregation, and I know 51 years later, you're willing to fold your arms, hold your head, and listen to two black girls yell and scream, rightfully so, as opposed to someone who will tell you to shut up after they've read their own words.
Well, can I talk? And then maybe you can listen to what I say.
As opposed to someone who will tell you later, when it comes to your children dying in the streets, I know that the only person that I have the conscience to vote for is Bernard Sanders. I know that the only person that my logical, beautiful black mind will allow me to vote for is Senator Bernie Sanders. And I want to tell the other side, I know from going around and shaking hands and hugging these beautiful black faces in South Carolina, that goddamn firewall got a crack in it.
So that's Killer Mike. I'm not sure who he's supporting. It kind of sounds like he supports Bernie Sanders, but I'm on the fence. What do you think? Jill writes, Nate, I was on Bill's team until I watched this episode last night. I'm a new fan of Mark Ruffalo now. As always, MED broke it down. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo showed me something because he was willing to, in that moment, correct Bill Maher. And what he came with was just common sense. Brent writes, I think Bill was out of line. Black people know the difference between a primary and a general election. That's right, folks. That's right. Somebody needs to teach Bill Maher. Bill Maher is the effing idiot because he doesn't know the difference between a primary and an election. Hey, memo to Bill Maher. Where's the camera? Memo to Bill Maher. There's a difference between a primary and in a general election. See, in a primary, the two Democrat candidates